Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Jason with the Star Report for March the 16th through the 22nd. And this week, I want to let you know is going to be a very intense week of average things or things that occur on a regular basis. But just the nature of the way the planet's working this week are going to be really, really intense, or cause you to feel maybe under pressure or have a lot of anxiety going on. Now, for those of you who haven't been paying attention over the last couple of weeks, we just had recently, last month, the return of Pluto into the same position it was in during the American Revolution. And so that energy of revolution, of rebirth, of claiming sovereignty, of being a whole new self, of trying a whole new project, meaning an entirely new way of being, um, is sort of the energy we've been living under. And this week has three energy sort of signatures to it. Um, that's if the sun doesn't do anything crazy. Um, there have been solar activity, but it's been non-Earth facing, so that's kind of fine. But the three things that are affecting us this week are first coming up on March the 18th, which is the full moon. And the full moon is going to be a normal full moon for all intents and purposes. But that full moon, so go ahead and for the normal part, set out your crystals, let those be cleansed in the moonlight or activated in the moonlight. If you are a maker of moon water, it's totally fine to do during this full moon. Um, Matter of fact, it might give you a nice ritual and give you a place of focus during this intense energy. But full moons are always about letting go of things that no longer serve us, right? Usually over the last month, right? Things that we've built up, things that we've tried, and then letting go. But this full moon happens to be paired with a couple of other things. And so the full moon energy is going to be, I won't call it oppressive, but very triggering, very pointed in trying to get you to sort of feel different things about it. And that's because during this full moon, it's going to be a Piscean stellium, meaning that there's three or more planets within the constellation of Pisces. And so that intensified energy in Pisces really sort of gets into this age that we're sort of working in or living in, right? We're leaving the age of Pisces and we're moving into the age of Aquarius, and right, so for several thousand years we were in the age of Pisces, and so that Pisces energy created all kinds of things. That was the rise of Christianity and all kinds of things like that. Those were, the rise and fall of Rome, the rise and fall of the United States, or the rise of the United States into its current form, right? So American Revolution and all that stuff happened, and so we're back in a cycle where we're in a new age, but the return of the planets is such as it was at the beginning of the American Revolution and the Declaration of Independence, so 1776. So that Piscean stellium with this full moon is started causing a lot of intensity there. And then on March the 21st, just a couple of days later, it's the equinox, the spring equinox. And so what's being sort of given to us to try to do to work with is we're letting go, but we're also integrating. We can't just start over with a clean slate. We have to take those things that served us well, the information, the learning, the attunements, the activations we got from that last age and move into this new age. So this full moon is really triggering us to let go of the remnants and integrate the Piscean age into this now, right? So thousands of years of being on this planet, or our DNA lineage being on this planet, we're integrating that and letting go of the stuff that we don't need and bringing the stuff that we want or that's going to serve us. And then the equinox, the spring equinox, is really sort of, it might feel like a breath, like, because it's going to be a nice balance energy of the day, and it's going to help you sort of take note, take heed into what it is you want to integrate, how you're going to integrate it, and then what this new creation based on your culling, your letting go of things for this full moon energy is going to look like. And so the tendency in spring is since we're an animal on the planet, is to sort of get into the pattern of the animals on the planet, which they're looking for a new partner, they're looking to have a new relationship, they're looking to have a new litter of offspring for the springtime to populate the earth. And so, also while we're letting go of all of these thousands of years of things, we're having this real push to reevaluate our relationships, right? And so, um, don't, or maybe if you're ready to, go ahead, but don't necessarily take up all that energy as a time um, to go ahead and do that, but that it's a time to reevaluate. We want to, in this springtime, almost instead of emulate ourselves after the animal kingdom, and emulate ourselves after like a nice tree, an old tree, because trees have been in the ground for a long time. Some of them even been there for thousands of years, and so those trees have a group of roots that they're grounded in. And when the seasons change, what they do is they reintegrate the new information, the new sunlight. Maybe something fell down and they've got more sunlight, or maybe a tree grew into the sunlight and they have to shift, or maybe this year there's less or more rain and they need broader leaves or something to that effect. And so we want to really sort of stay grounded in our relationships and sort of understand what shifted about them. How can we adjust so that we can continue to thrive like the tree does, not necessarily because the tree doesn't, in the seasons, uproot itself and move. The tree continues to be rooted in the things that are good for it, the soil, uh, the relationships, the points of view, the learnings, right? It's learned what it has to do to survive for thousands of years, and those things can be good into the future. Just being able to move and thrive, as far as like how you spread your wings, how you spread your branches, is a good thing to pay attention to. So this week, intense energy should be pretty easy to make your way through. If you're paying attention, that it's not about uprooting and cutting everything down, but it's about letting go of what no longer serves you, and then integrating and continuing on with the things that have been working for you into this new reality. And that's going to make you be able to claim your sovereignty, right? A tree that's lived for thousands of years is very sovereign over the animals that have come and gone and lived in its branches, right? So we're really trying to anchor ourselves more and ground ourselves more like a tree than to be temporal and passing along like regular animals. We're divine eternal souls, and this time is about claiming our sovereignty. And so this is a perfect time to understand what you want to keep with you as the sovereign, and then how you're going to adjust your wingspan, your branches, and the way that you're receiving light and information from the 3D reality, but also from the stars and the moon and the stellium and the equinox. So pay attention. March the 18th, I think that's a couple days from now, 2 days from now, I believe. If it's the 16th today, the 18th is 2 days from now, is the full moon. That's where the energy is going to be the most intense. It's going to be under that Piscean stellium, where we're sort of integrating in not just this past month, but this past age. And then it's going to feel like a nice deep breath on the 21st, the equinox, where you can breathe and sort of feel the balance of the energy of the day, where you have light and dark sort of equaling out. And then this newness, what are you going to create in the springtime of this new life we're creating and living with on the planet? And that's going to serve you well if you look at the energy and the intensity that way. It's going to give you some control. It's going to allow you to claim your own sovereignty, and it's going to allow you to be a oak or a strong tree for those that happen to be in your sphere. So I hope you enjoyed this week's star reports. Until next time, many blessings.